Hi there, it's Karen at Corrie Papercrafts here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in central Scotland. Welcome back to another project, which is this little box here that has a belly band around it and ribbon around the belly band. So I'm hoping that if I take them both off together, I'll actually get them back on together. Who knows? And it's just a little rectangular box. It is actually large enough to fit 2 green and blacks chocolates, that I will say. And the finished dimensions of this box are just over 2.5, just short of 2 5/8 inches by 1 3/8 inches that way, and it's 7/8 of an inch deep. So really dinky little box, but you can still fit a decent amount in it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this belly band back on, but I'll certainly have a go. There we are. So you don't need a lot to make this at all. It is a project that I've made before. I'm continuing a week of a mini series called Old Meets New. So it's an old project that I've featured on my blog about 3 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, which I didn't do a video for at the time because I wasn't doing videos. But I thought I would remake it using my own instructions. I have tweaked the combination of the measurements for the lid and the base a little bit, just to make it easier now that I'm 4 years down the line and able to work out my measurements a lot quicker than I did then. So I'll pop a link below to the original blog post where I made this little box, but I'm going to make it using new products. So this one I made using Just Jade cardstock, one of our 5 new in colours, and the Just Jade ribbon, and a little strip of paper from the Designer Series paper pack, which is Forever Greenery, and I have shown this in a previous video. So I'm going to make a slightly different one this time. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight and a piece of paper from the A Good World, I think it's called, Designer Series paper. Bear with me 2 seconds. It's our specialty paper, which I have, World of Good, specialty Designer Series paper. So there's some bronze foiling and things in it, but again I've shown that in a previous video too. So I'm going to do some scoring, and I'm going to follow my own instructions from the original blog post. I think I can remember them mostly, but I've got them here on my phone, so bear with me just in case. So for the base of the box, you'll need a piece of cardstock which measures 4 1/4 inches by 3 inches. And for the lid, you'll need a piece that measures just 1/16 of an inch more than 4 1/4, or just under a 1/16 more, and just under a 1/16 of an inch over 3 inches. So again, you're cutting to 4 1/4 by 3, but with a 1/16 added on to either side of that, just to make sure the lid fits over the base and you get a nice tight fit round there. And for the belly band, you'll need a piece of Designer Series paper which measures 1 1/2 inches by 5 inches. So on both the base and the lid, you are going to score the same, and that's at 7/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. So because it's a smaller box and I want sharper creases, I am using the smaller end of my ball tool, but 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I end up jumping the track. So I'm just taking my time and pressing just a little bit harder, and the closer I get to my final score line, the more nervous I'm getting. There we are. Managed it. Usually I jump the track if I use the smaller head. So, and I'm just going to then fold and burnish on all sides on both pieces. So I'll just do that really quickly. There we are. Now, because I can see what piece is larger and what piece is smaller. I'm just going to double check that. So that's the base, I think, that's on the top. Yep. And the lid that's underneath. So before I do anything else, I'm going to come in with my 1.5 inch circle punch and just on either side take a very small notch out, just to act as a thumb notch, and I'm just making sure that I've got equal spaces either side. So that's one notch there, and the same again on the other side. If they don't match perfectly, it really doesn't matter. The main thing is to make sure it's in the middle lengthwise. There we are. I think they're about the same. Yeah, that was quite a good estimation. So now I'm going to do some cutting. Where are my paper snips? Here we are. So you can either cut your corner and rotate each time, as we do on most of the boxes that I make certainly, or you can just do both sides on each of the long sides, which is what I'm going to do today. And it's very rarely that I make a box where I cut the corners both on the same side, but I am going to do it with this one. It's small enough to stay sturdy, and the card is, because it's such good quality card, it's fairly strong anyway. So just notching on either of these, or each rather, of these corners. Again, I'm taking the score line away onto that smaller square and leaving the straight edge on the rectangle. So that's the lid done. I'm just going to do exactly the same for the base. So I'll be as quick as I can. I know some demonstrators speed up the video here, but in my Movie Maker app I can't get it to do that, so I'll just talk to you while I'm doing it. So remember, during June, until the 30th of June, we have an amazing joining offer for Stampin' Up. £99 to join, but choose £130 worth of products. But you get to choose any, and I mean any, punch bundle or die bundle free alongside your kit. So it is definitely worth thinking about. If you've been thinking about joining, there's no pressure thereafter, but if you do want to know more about it, then give me a shout. And I'm just looking for my tearing tape, which I had. There we are. And I'm just going to add a piece of tearing tape onto all of these small tabs on both the base and the lid. And remember, if you do join Stampin' Up, you get to choose your kit. It's not chosen for you. You choose what you want, up to £130 worth. So you can customise it to what you want. Stamp sets, the trimmer, scoreboard, paper, ink, card, you name it, it's entirely up to you. So because these are a little bit long, you can either put 2 pieces of tape on or just trim those down a little bit, which is what I'm going to do for this box here. It certainly saves a bit of time, and it definitely saves on your tape as well, because we don't need the extra parts on these flaps. We really just need enough to join the box together. So I've just been trimming those like that. So to put it all together, I just need to remove the backing tape on all of these little tabs. Oops. Like so. Do them both at the same time, I think. It's always that top right corner that I want to take the tape off, as well as the backing for some reason. And then I'm just going to put all these tabs together to join the box up, and just make sure I'm folding over any loose bits. So straight edge to folded edge as usual. There we are. just give it a good squeeze, and then what I tend to do is just give it an extra press down, especially in those corners, to get it joined together right to that very bottom edge, and then any little fluffy bits I just trim off with my paper snips. But a word of warning, be careful how much you snip on those corners, because you don't want to end up cutting the corner off your box either and having a bit of a hole. So I'm just going round, folding in all the overlapping pieces of tape, and folded edge or straight edge to folded edge, and that's the base of my box together as well. And again, any little furry bits that are sticking out, then I'm just going to snip those off. So I press down with my paper folder, just like so, and the moment of truth is when you try and put the lid on. There we are, and that's a nice tight fit, and you've got some nice finger notches, but the paper covers up those finger notches just from an aesthetic point of view, if you don't want to be able to see that once your paper's on your box. Now this is slightly directional because it is compasses that are on here, but it's small enough to not make any difference, and because they're symmetrical, it's just the north, south, east and west that look different, but it's so small that you're not going to notice that some of them are upside down. So like we've done on boxes before, I'm going to start at the halfway point on the base of my box and just start wrapping the DSP round without pulling it too tight, so that it fits easily over my box. And then I'm going to come back and make sure that those are all straight, and just gently press down with my paper folder. I don't need them to be creased really hard. It's just as a guide round the box. So again, just very gently. And last one, I just want to make sure that these are straight. There we are. And on that smaller flap, as opposed to the longer one that I folded over last, I'm going to put a piece of tape along the edge of there, like so, and just tear that down, give it a press and take that backing off, and sort out the overlapping bits before I go any further. And again, I'm just going to come back, this time putting the larger flap on the base of my box, wrap my DSP round, and without pulling it too tightly, I'm just going to line those edges up and press it down. And that lets my join be in the middle of the bottom of the box. Again, it's purely cosmetic, it just looks neater, I think, and that's my box done. So all I need is my Misty Moonlight ribbon, enough to bring it round and tie it in a double knot, like so. And I can straighten it up once my knot's tied, but I just want to make sure it's nice and tight. Let me just pop that finger on there to hold it until, there we are. So that's my box tied, and then I'm just going to snip each side. You're going to want to go that way, yes. So I just make sure you're happy with what way your ribbon's facing. I think I need a bit more of an angle on that little bit there. There we go. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to use my 2020 to 22 in colour enamel dots. And if you watched a video that I did last week, you'll have seen that when I was taking the Just Jade ones off, the top was coming off the base, so the coloured base was left on here and I just had a clear dot on my finger. So I decided, and a couple of people have suggested it as well, just to give it a burnish with the edge of my paper folder to make sure that they're well stuck together, and that seems to have done the trick. And then I just want, like on here, a couple of, whoops, my dots. I've got them well stuck now. And I stuck one just on the bottom of the box and one just, oops, just on the designer series paper somewhere as well, just to add a little bit of extra something. And that's my little box made. I'm really resisting doing one in Magenta Madness, but I think I'm going to have to make one of each colour. So when I get some more of my orders through, which are on their way at the moment, I'll do a cinnamon cider one, and I'll have a look for something that will look nice with Bumblebee and Magenta Madness as well. I made quite a lot of these boxes for a swap at an event that I went to with Stampin Up as well, so it's a bit of a favourite, and it's nice and cute and dinky, which is what I like too. So I hope you like those. I hope you'll have a go at making your own. Do share them if you do. I do have a little craft group on Facebook, sorry. It's called Corrie's Craft and Chat. So if you do come across that and you want to join in, you'll be more than welcome. And it's for any kind of crafting, not just paper crafting, so don't feel that you can't join if you don't do paper crafting, but it would be nice to see you. So come along and join us and share the projects that you've been making. So until I see you next time, I'll pop a link to the original project on my blog in the description bar below. But take care and be good. See you soon. Bye bye.